Welcome back to the St. Louis Cardinals franchise, everybody, where we've reached the All-Star break, and today we're going to see what our team looks like as we approach and pass the trade deadline. We're trying to go back to the postseason. We are already 11 games up in the NL Central, but are trying to put our lineup in the best shape to compete with the best teams in the National League. We'll see if there's a big trade to make today. There's definitely going to be some transactions that we'll look at here after the All-Star break. But first up, we have the Home Run Derby, and I'm not going to play it if our guys aren't in it, but I did get a really good comment saying if I at least simulate it, I'll be able to at least see Home Run Derby awards on player cards. So we're going to start with that. There is the 8-player bracket. Maybe we'll watch the finals play out at least. Wow, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. upsetting Ketel Marte and Shohei Ohtani, and he'll face Aaron Judge in the finals. So I forget what the real-life format even was this year. The All-Star break was right around the launch of College Football 25, so not a whole lot else mattered outside of college football there for a couple weeks, for me at least. That one should be 440 plus. Way back left center and gone 460. Judge heating up around the halfway point. He's got 7. A lot of these are going to opposite field. And he's so strong, a lot of them are working out. But I feel like Vladdy's got a pretty good shot. Final minute now for Judge. That one might be one of his furthest. That is in the back row of 464. And time for one last swing. Judge right center. Is that one going to have enough? It will. 404. He gets number 15 and I guess some bonus time. Yeah, these opposite field ones are hilarious. All right, so 16 for Aaron Judge, and we'll see if Vladimir Guerrero can top it. So he's going to need 4 per minute, basically, to match Judge's pace, and not off to the strongest starts. Starting to get it going now. The first 4 took a little over a minute, and he hasn't hit one 440 yet. And I can't see him winning this without bonus time. And these high pop-ups just take too long. He's going to try to go right center now. That should get out. And it does. You really need those to come through. It did for Judge like 5 times. Still none over 440. And that's going to hook foul. Only a minute 35 to go. He's trailing by 9. Has to go on a hot streak now as he hits the halfway point, 446. Needs extra time. That one is sky high. Not going to go. That sounded pretty good. Off to right center, and that is 435. Just misses bonus time. 7 to go, and at most a minute 30 left for Vladdy. Looking like Judge is going to claim this title. Yeah, we've had like 5 straight swings that haven't gone yard. That is not going to do it. Aaron Judge is going to be your Home Run Derby champion here this season. I love to have the chance to have one of our guys in the Derby. I think I got to do it one time in the A's franchise, and I'm still waiting for my first try here in this game. Next up, we've got the All-Star game, and it's pretty shocking that we don't have an All-Star starter. Ryan Helsley is in, thankfully. They have a lot of closers. Do they just, not bring in true relievers? It's 6 closers. Nolan's in, coming off the bench. Tommy Edman in his first year with the Rockies makes it, hitting .232. How do we have 2 All-Stars? Oh yeah, I totally forgot Corbin Burnes was going to be in the All-Star game as well. So we've got him here in the 5th inning with the National League up 4-1. Burnes has been our best starter this year, even better than Dylan Cease. Got him looking. Change up at the knees. And then pitching to the home run derby champion. We should just intentionally walk him here in the All-Star game. 2 strikes on Judge and a ground ball to third base. And then pitching to the great Mike Trout. Trout gone fishing, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 for Corbin Burns. And we're going to get Nolan Arenado in the game now. He's going to have to face Felix Bautista. Right by him at 102. Great year for Nolan. Regression, is inevitable here in the show, but doing everything he can to try to put this team in position to have postseason success. Bautista gets him 1-2-3. And here is Ryan Helsley in the 9th inning. 41 games this year. Doesn't tell us how many saves, but he's been really, really good this year. And he's a free agent at the end of the season. We have a few guys whose contract situation is going to be pretty key to think about. I know we're in the midst of trying to win this division, go on to the postseason, but thinking beyond, as that is hit to Soto and left, you got to consider that Brendan Donovan's a free agent at the end of the year. So is Ryan Helsley. Probably a couple other relievers. Most of them end up being on one-year deals. And then we're, reaching the end of a lot of contracts. Like Arenado's is up at the end of the year. Wilson Contreras will have one more season. Guys like Nolan Gorman might have one more year of arbitration. And how's that going to factor into what we do before the break? Down goes A's franchise contributor Zach Geloff. Had a lot of fun moments with Geloff in that series, man. That was a fun team. Kyle Tucker is up. And that is it. Helsley gets another, well, I guess it's not a save. Wouldn't matter anyway. Helsley shuts it down. The National League is victorious. Good little all-star break. Usually I sim past this. I figured why not spend at least a few minutes on it this season before we prepare for the grind ahead. Got a few days off as we consider potential trades, and I'm sure there's going to be a bunch happening throughout the league. Now, there is a move I want to make here as we resume action. One thing I forgot about when it comes to Elvis Martinez is we do have optional waivers. I can attempt to pass him through. If somebody claims, I can revoke that and keep him on the roster. And that's ultimately what I want to do right now. Elvis Martinez is going to be sent down. I just don't think that he's going to be one of our best options the rest of the way coming off the bench. The player I want to bring up right now is Mason Wynn, who has just dominated AAA this year. Sorry, those are the right numbers. 321, 388, 510. That's his slash line. The guy's been incredible. He's up a bunch of points as a result. Best batting average in the International League. Third highest on-base percentage. Number 1 in slugging and OPS. I think he's earned his way back to the big league roster. And we are promoting him. So we have to see first if Elvis Martinez passes waivers. But this is also going to be kind of the last chance for Jorge Soler to show he's going to be part of our run the rest of the way as he replaces Martinez then as the DH against lefties. One guy I also wanted to talk about a bit more in depth is Brendan Donovan. He's been a pretty core part of the series to this point, and he's probably not going to ask for a massive deal. But we are seeing notable regression, like his contact versus lefties is now in a rough spot. His power wasn't like super high to begin with. He could hit, 15 to 20 home runs. This year, though, the power is really drying up. He's not doubling as much. His home run rate has fallen. With an ISO under 100, you really need to be elite getting on base and playing defense. And he has been so far. Like, he is a 380 on-base player, so that's just something to keep in mind. If the average and on-base slips, his value kind of craters. Now, last episode, I proposed the possibility of us going out to get Nolan Jones, which would really be the final piece to this offense. It would also probably mean Daryl Marino doesn't have, well, he could still have a spot if we shuffle some things around, because obviously our center field position has been in flux all year. Jones has some flexibility, but outfield is his true spot. One thing to note is his plate vision is really low, and if we added him, he would immediately become our highest strikeout rate player. But it would probably be worth it given the power he has. But he has not played at an elite level. This would actually be a pretty similar move to us going out to get Luis Robert, who had shown superstar potential, wasn't really demonstrating that the last couple of years in Chicago. We brought him over, and I think his play has definitely leveled back up. His average, if you just skip over 26, because it was half with them, half with us, he's so much better than the previous year he was in Chicago. So with Nolan Jones, you'd have to also be banking on him taking his play up a level, not just maintaining where he is. He's also seeing regression. I don't know if that's an age 28 thing, but he would be a really good player that the Rockies would want a lot for. Last episode, we saw they wanted Benny Matsumoto. That's the level of prospect it might take. I'm eyeing the series against Philadelphia because I want to see how we stack up to their pitching. Arenado, big day here against the Cleveland Guardians. We're going to see Tink Hence suffer a minor injury here at the end of this day. We lose the game. I doubt he misses a start, but if he does, Mason Miller can easily fill in for a day. We're also going to get to see the ratings here for our class, and I'm pretty excited to see what our first few picks show here. Richie Leonard here was our second pick. Got very fortunate there with the prospect incentive bonus. But we're going to sign our first round pick, Julian Welsh, third baseman. And then Matt Grieve, 38th on our board, not ranked on the MLB. He could also have a pretty high ceiling. One thing to note, though, is that he is injured, so that was pretty risky. We got Daniel Caruso signed. Declined by Philip Maeda. Ricky Leslie signs. And then we got some work to do here if we want to get Rodriguez under contract. 2 players we have to boost interest on. We got a series again here against Milwaukee. We already have a big lead over them. They really need a good series. Tink Hence is good to go. Baltimore claims Orelvis Martinez. We're going to withdraw the request. But now I wonder if it makes some sense to look at trading him, honestly. I don't see him being a part of our playoff run, and I'm having my doubts about him being a future third base starter. And we just drafted a new third baseman. I just don't think a team in our position is wanting to bank on a 25-year-old prospect whose development has come on a bit slower than you'd like. No trades have happened here this episode. It's quiet so far. The hot stove is still heating up. See, to me, Martinez needs to go somewhere now where he can just play every day and have a chance to succeed. The Mets could be that team. Oh my God, the Mets are terrible. This roster has 2 guys above an 80? Well, then they have nothing to offer. We are going to make a trade today, and we are going to be sending reliever Anthony Bender and DH Jorge Soler to the Orioles, who have been a 500 team to this point. I'm looking to upgrade Bender's spot with Yenier Cano, their top-rated reliever, who can handle the late innings, has a really high hit per 9, and he's playing at a really high level every year in the franchise. So this is going to give us a bullpen upgrade and open up a roster spot, as I do think we're ready to move on from Jorge Soler. He had that hot start at the beginning of the year, but ultimately I think that move helps bridge the gap for what I really want to do right now, and that is going to be making the move to get Daryl Marino up here at the majors. I think he can be a DH. I think he's got a chance to develop, and I just think that he's ready to help us out. And if we can get a look at him prior to the deadline, it might help us see if we really need to make an extra move or if he's indeed ready. But Daryl Marino has arrived. I'm going to revisit potential trades with Martinez here shortly. I won't win at the majors, but I feel like for Martinez, I need to try to find the right trade. I explored a few options, but I think I want to see if anything major happens now in the next couple weeks. If like somebody gets hurt and we have to make a move, Martinez would be a pretty good player to include in a deal like that. So I know we're a little all over the place right now, but it is time for a long-awaited debut. And this is also a chance to put the Brewers even further behind us. 66 wins versus 55. And Daryl Marino is here. He's been one of our best prospects in this series. I know he hasn't always been ranked towards the very top, but he's been one of our highest upside just hitters. 87 potential is what he was drafted with. He already has the power to make a big league impact as a DH. And he's going to make his debut against the lefty John Means. And it is showtime, everybody. Lars Nootbaar at second base. And here's number 4, Daryl Marino. Started the year at Double-A. Had about 100 at-bats there and was dominant. And then was even better at the Triple-A level. Grounded on to third base. And his first at-bat comes rather quickly. 5-0 now. St. Louis got good production off of John Means. He's already out here in the 4th. Base hit right field, and Daryl Marino is on the board at the big league level. First major league hit. It's taken quite a long time for this moment. He was our first round pick in season 2. And that feels like an eternity ago. I know in the future I want to try and tighten up the format and get more episodes out early in those first couple months so that we can celebrate moments like this, not at the end of August. Got a lot of plans for what I'm doing on the show next year already, but a lot to do still with the Cards. Cardinals couldn't advance him, but he's got another chance here in the 5th. Already a 6-0 game, 2 aboard with 2 gone. That's going to right center field, and that should be extras. Marino picks up his first RBI. We wave home the second run. It's a 2-run double. 2 hits in his debut. Pretty aggressive early in these at-bats as these elevated pitches are right where we want them. Oh, a bunt with 2 outs. Odd strategy. What if we can make it 3 hits in his debut? Top of the 7th. Surprised he was ranked the number 55 prospect. I feel like he should be so much higher given his ceiling. And tied up on the high fastball. 4 at-bats into his career. Every pitch he's seen has been a strike. And that's the way it's going to end in his first game. No pitches outside the strike zone. And the Cardinals pick up a big win as we look to put Milwaukee away in this division race. It's the last time we're going to see Milwaukee for a while. And we have a chance to win another series against them. We are 12 games up now in the division. We're kind of emptying the bench a bit today with some of the energy situations. Now we're going to go player lock again with Daryl Marino, who's actually getting the chance to play at first base this time around. There we go. We finally have a ball. Oh, come on, though. All right, I don't like the way this at-bat's going. 3 takes. 1-2 count. And I thought that was going to turn outside. Freddie's one of the best. Milwaukee has the lead as they try to take this series. It's 3-0. Marino playing first base. We got one down, and that's going to be popped up for the young first baseman as we watch Donovan make the catch. Just a bit late on that one. Good heater to hit. I expected off speed there. Nobody out as Cortez having a bit of a rough outing, and that's going to be a chance at 2. Marino there to complete the double play. Come on, hit the ball to him already. Francisco Mejia. There we go. There's Daryl Marino. Clean play, unassisted. Let's see if he can spark the offense, though. We have one hit, and Freddie's looking to go the distance. Good fastball away. Full count for Marino. Got him on the slider. Yeah, we ran into Freddie on the wrong day, it would appear. But we do have a chance to get back in the game. 3-1. Freddie Peralta's now out. And hitless on the day, Daryl Marino. Abner Uribe is the pitcher. A little bit high there as Marino gets ahead. All right, we need something here. 3-1. Didn't get it, ball 4, as they pitch around Marino to instead face Victor Scott. And Marino is taken out of the game, actually. All right, I'm not used to my player locks being interrupted like that, but it did make sense to do that. And clearly, Scott did not hit a go-ahead grand slam as we lose 4-2. So we come up short in that series. We will sign Richard Leonard now to have our first few picks under contract. And now we've got a series against the Philadelphia Phillies, and we know how good this team is, and we've got to show that we can compete with the pitching they can put out there. The East right now is a tie between them and the Marlins. Still, Miami is holding on. How good is that Marlins team? We know how good the Phillies are. I mean, they got the best free agent last season to add to a core that has Trey Turner and a 90 overall Brandon Marsh, Bryce Harper. Meanwhile, you got Miami here, Nico Horner. So they were busy in free agency as well. They were able to bring in Eloy Jimenez on probably a pretty cheap deal. They have a lot of players under 80 overall, and they're still producing. They're still really good. You know, there's a lot of good pitching in the National League. I know they would have started off with guys like Yuri Perez, and they still have him, Sandy, Jordan Hicks. So we'll have to see if they can keep it up. And we do play them here around the deadline. I'd like to get in some games against them as well. Last season, our big addition to the roster was, of course, Luis Robert. Gave up some of our pitching value, like Tekoa Roby, one of our better prospects, to go and get him. And so far this season, he's enjoying a really good year, hitting .276, 23 home runs, 56 RBIs. Wow, the sky is not great tonight. Kodai Senga with a cutter by him, bit late there. Doing such a good job of nailing that outside edge. And got him at the knees with a fastball. Ahead of the postseason, I really want as many at-bats against good pitchers, like the best pitchers as I can get. Because I know my approach in last year's run, as that's a ground rule double, my approach last year at the plate wasn't good enough. Trey Turner hits one now into the same area, but with more air under it. Philly's already up 1-0 here against Tink Hence, who really needs to step his game up in the second half. Kim's able to single him home. And then Bryson Stott has an RBI single in the fourth, as it's now 3-0 Phillies. Off to right center field, hit pretty well, and it's down. Robert, hard turn, might have been able to get there. Nolan Gorman's enjoying such a great year. I'm surprised he didn't make it into the All-Star game. Thought we'd be having the Derby with him as well. Gorman hits one hard, right to short. And that's the fourth, all wrapped up. 2-run homer, Trey Turner. This is not looking good. We're starting to mount a rally, though. Wow, that's a lot of hits in a row. 5-4. Right back in this game now. I don't know why it has Scott hitting 5th or whatever. I have to fix our batting order. Still only one down, trying to get Senga out of the game. Left center field, that is down for a hit. Robert ties the game on an RBI single. Yeah, I don't want Victor Scott hitting 5th. I want, the Victor Scott that was playing well the first month of last year hitting 5th maybe. Yeah, that was in the dirt. Tied at 6 now into the late innings. Bullpens take over. Deep to right center. That one's hit pretty well. Robert back and gone. A home run. A solo shot to put the Cards on top. 102 to opposite field. My swing's a little bit later than I like it to be today, but it's working. Now, Philadelphia just scored a run in the 9th. It is tied. I think we're going to jump in here and turn off player lock. Blown save for Ryan Helsley, so the game continues 7 apiece. Gregory Soto right down the middle. Hard to ask for anything better. That is knocked down at third base. Robert running well, will be there in time. Where did that pitch end up? Because I think that was, way inside, but I timed it. So, Nolan Gorman against the lefty. All right, I know what move I'm making. Nolan Gorman, though, is going to hit here lefty-lefty against Soto. Soto has some pretty wild accuracy at times, so we got to let the right pitch come to us. That's not it. Victor Scott on deck. No home runs on the year with a 606 OPS. And it's a 4-pitch walk. The winning run moves into scoring position. Victor Scott will not be getting this at-bat. And it's Daryl Marino, the rookie, with his first at-bat in St. Louis. His home debut. 2 aboard, nobody out. Soto with a strike. Fouled off the sinker, and it's 0-2. That struck him out. Soto gave the best he had to the rookie. And that's going to bring up Arenado. All-star Arenado. Now Soto is pitching perfectly. Key pitch here, 2-1. Looking for something elevated, and it's fouled off. Trying to protect better with 2 strikes. Nolan smashes the bat over his knee. So it's going to be Lars. Soto nearly out of the jam. We all know how good Lars has been this season. MVP chance starting to grow. No rain ponchos in the crowd. They don't care. And that's a drive! Deep right field and foul. Yeah, that one not even close enough for a measurement. A walk to Nootbaar. Jordan Walker now. The latest to have a walk-off opportunity. A walk-off walk or hit by pitch would do it. Soto's capable of both of those. Here we go. A strike. 0-2. See? I thought maybe we could get one of those. Got in front of the slider, but foul. Hey, we're working the counts here. Or we're working the inning, I guess. 26 pitches for Soto. Right center field, looking for it to bloop, and bloop it will not. To the 10th we go. Marino is going to be replaced by Dylan Carlson now in the field. We have really good options for these late innings and extra innings scenarios. This is a big one. Mason Miller versus Bryce Harper. Miller up and away as he falls behind Bryce. Good speed at second, too, with Brandon Marsh. Popped him up. Donovan with a play. One gone. Popped up for Nolan now. Frustration for the Phillies. Ooh, that is nasty. And a ground ball hit to Arenado. Mason Miller, heck of an inning. Zach Jackson. No way. Early A's franchise memories are flooding back to me with all the games he blew for us. Why was he not good? His ratings were good, but he wasn't good. A bit of speed there at second base. 77 is plenty. Grounded up to third base. Contreras had a walk-off last episode. Won't have one here. Donovan slices it foul. Something down the line could certainly win it. In the air, right field. That's hit well. Back to the track and caught. Up against the wall as Walker moves up to third base. What a game-saving play in right. I thought we had it. A leap. Clean play there by Call in right, and it's up to Geraldo Perdomo. Ooh, that wouldn't have been bad. These contact guys, if you can just get something you can square up that's elevated, it usually works out well. Oh boy. Now he misses with a bunch. So you got to throw something in the zone or you're going to face Luis Robert. On to the 11th. Pulled the string on that one. Miller's 10th was so good. He's getting the 11th. Donovan backhands as the runner advances. So Rojas did his job. Big cut. Coming up empty is Sosa. And here's the heater. Strike three at 100. Alex Cole, who is the reason we're still in the 11th inning. Whiffs at 98. Miller now struggling to find the zone. Count drops to 3-1. Now full count. Cole whiffs. 100 right by him. And another walk-off opportunity. Already 4 hits on the night for Luis Robert. Winning run at second base. Grounded to short and cut off. Kim's throw. And that's why he got the big deal. No way. A tick late on the changeup. That should have ended the game. I haven't had a clutch Dylan Carlson moment here in a while. Here's Dylan Carlson, bottom of the 11th inning. 14-game hitting streak, so he's playing well. Trying to hold on to his spot. Chops it. Looks like Jackson's going to have a play. 11's not enough. And we can still throw elite relievers at him here with JoJo Romero. Ooh, filthy cutter. Base hit, though, line to right field, and Nootbaar is going to be not tested. They held. No one scored yet in extras, but Phillies have the best chance. First and third, Ha-Sung Kim. That could be deep enough. Robert is in center. He's going to fire this one home, but it's going to be too late as the Phillies go on top. Chopper. Going to take the easy play to first. We're going to walk Bryce Harper here with an open base. Wow, Romero strikes out Stott. So an unearned run comes home for Philadelphia, and we've got to answer against Brian Abreu. I really wanted to bring him in this year. I tried. I offered more money than Philadelphia. A 6 ERA, 25 of 30 on saves. That sounds like a really rocky ride. High batting average against. 6 ERA is bad. 25 saves to 5 blown doesn't sound like the worst season, but that all together, I think I like our experience a bit better. I'd also like to add on another blown save if possible. Nolan Arenado will hit. Our extra inning runner has 61 speed. Skied and foul ground. Ooh. Oh no, it's another broken bat for Nolan. That's 2 in one night. Mars Nootbaar. He turns one way foul. Having some trouble with his slurve. Getting the timing right. 3-2 now. That's the take. Jordan Walker with 2 on. He's so tall. That looks like a ball. The strike zone is just larger. And it's a drive to right. Keep it fair. No. Another close call. Got him. The slider went where he wanted it that time. It's Wilson Contreras, game on the line. Ooh, high slider got me. Swung right through it. That's going to left field. It's fair in the corner. We're going to tie it. And we have to stop at third. No way. No, they did that so heads up. There's no shot. Contreras thrown out. We extend the game. All right, whatever. We were on the brink of losing. This is better. Yenier Cano, the newest Cardinal pitcher. We're getting a good look at him today. If you're enjoying today's episode, I'd really appreciate it if you left a like on the video. Still going to look to do a lot of baseball content as it does slow down this time of year. But I'm really enjoying the Cards, and we have a lot of unfinished business and a really fun team. So, Sable's grounder moves that go-ahead run back into scoring, or onto third base, rather. Oh, they're going to try to call the squeeze play, throw it to third. Come on. He's out. How about that? All right, I think we're ready for this game to be over with, though, right? Sliced over to the left field, and it's going to be tracked down. 7th at-bat of the day for Geraldo Perdomo. Grounded right up the middle and through. We're not waving Contreras. We just don't have the speed. I can't have him get thrown out twice in a 2-inning span. Y'all will eat me alive in the comments. Luis Roberts' turn. Good night. Just missed Barlow's slurve. No way. How did he foul that off? Oh my God. I cannot believe that pitch didn't win us the game. And now it's going to take a hit from Nolan Gorman. Gorman, right center! It's over! Game winner! 13 innings and the Cardinals win a thriller. What a game. That's why I still love playing MLB The Show. Games like that, man. Took a while, but a lot of great moments, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing this team again. Nice opportunity to get familiar. Also felt like my swing was getting back on track with this game, so that felt really good. Back to try and finish off our class. Christopher Rodriguez, the more we scout, the more this potential range looks good. I'm really curious if he's actually on that level. He declines us. I'm actually going to prioritize that we get him under contract first. I'm running out of bonus money. I want to make sure I can sign him. Next game, 3-0. St. Louis leading as Dylan Lesko is going deep into this one. Cardinals win it 3-0. They're going to take the series. Lesko goes 8. Helsley nails down the save. What a game. Phillies do take the finale. I felt like that first game was, a pretty good look at this roster. And it ends up being, a 2-1 series. But we feel pretty good, I think, coming out of this one. Victor Scott homered for the first time this year, and he was the only player to put a run on the board. All right, we signed Christopher Rodriguez. 86 to 97 potential. We might have gotten extremely lucky with that selection. And then for Philip Maeda, there we go. We didn't have a lot left over, but everybody is signed now. Coming out of that series, we're approaching the trade deadline still. The Mets getting the better of us, even though, baseball's weird like that. We scored 5 runs in the series against a team that has like 380 overall players or better, but we just didn't score enough runs. So the trade deadline is about to hit. 69-40, 10 games up on the Brewers. We're here with the 8th best batting average, 5th highest scoring offense. Home run hitting, we are tied for 9th. There's not a weakness we need to fix or anything. Top 10 in on base. How about ERA? We are 5th. 3rd in the National League. 3rd lowest runs allowed. It goes Dodgers, Phillies, Cardinals. Since we acquired Cano, there have been a few deals. Mariners getting German Marquez. Marlins traded for Zach Geloff, actually. Christopher Morel traded to the Braves. Camilo Taval, that could be a pretty major reliever move. The outfield has been the one spot that we could consider addressing. Carlson and Scott haven't combined for a great year. 7 combined homers, 44 combined RBIs. Scott's roster spot is obviously safe because his defense and speed is really valuable. And sometimes it's even more valuable coming off the bench because you can be more strategic with when he's placed into the game. When he's pinch running, he doesn't have to reach base. They combine right now for a 1.7 WAR. Nolan Jones is still out there as an option. He's having a good year. Definitely a good season. I don't know if he'd be somebody I would extend, but he at least has 2028 available for arbitration. He made 3.5 this year, so probably about 5 next season. And then the decisions get tougher. A lot of good quirks. I think if we make a deal, I'd want to explore it with Martinez being one of the big pieces going there. We've already talked about trading him and getting Mason Wynn a spot on the roster. They certainly value upside, but not necessarily guys that are far away from the show. So like Rolando Benitez only moves the needle for them a little bit, whereas like Benny Matsumoto would get the deal done. and they value Tank Hentz a lot more than Benitez. I just don't know if I'm willing to give up Benny to make the deal happen. He'd be a great fit for them with the home run prevention. Like, it's hard to get a pitching skill set that's a good fit in Coors Field, but Benny probably has it. And the alternative we've had this entire time is to let Donovan play more outfield. We lose a bit of our defense there because he doesn't have as much range. And then that allows you to play Gorman at second and DH somebody like Daryl Marino. And I feel like that's the solution I like the most. Jones would obviously make our team, I would say, better right now. But it might cost us giving up like a Benny Matsumoto, where I think this move gives us better like multi-year upside so we can keep chasing a championship here for the next few seasons, because if we have Marino play more now, then he can develop and possibly, add to the offense without a huge salary. But I do think I need to find a trade that makes sense for Martinez. I'd like to move on, I think. I don't know what third base looks like next year, but I don't think Martinez is like a big plus there right now. I've considered a lot of different trades here. This is definitely a tricky spot for me to try and manage the team, but I think what makes sense to me right now is to try and get Marino prepared to be the everyday DH. And I think between now and the end of the year, we have the ability to maybe sacrifice some defense, playing Donovan in the outfield, playing Gorman at second. But that gives us a chance then to get Marino everyday at-bats. And then when the postseason comes around, he'd either be the DH still or would be able to come off the bench to be a big bat. And then you can have Carlson maybe play that defense in the outfield that he's good at. And his season, hasn't been great. Definitely playing better the last couple weeks. So this is not like a typical deadline deal where you're trying to upgrade your big league roster, but I have a move here I like with the New York Mets, as Martinez could immediately be their everyday third base, have a chance to develop, but they do have a player that I'd really like to add. And although he's not close to the show, he is the number 4 ranked catcher prospect in the franchise. We did pick up Brian Kovalenko in the draft last year, but at 22 years old, he might be 26 before he's even a 70 and ready to contribute at the major league level. But Darryl McLeod is higher rated, only 19 years old, and is already much more developed as a defensive catcher. And I'm thinking about what life is like after Wilson Contreras. McLeod, I think, has the kind of ceiling I'm looking for. 82 potential on him. I'm also going to put reliever Carlos Miranda here into the deal. So, the Elvis Martinez saga for us has come to an end. We can welcome back Mason Wynn, who continues to tear it up down at AAA, but he should be on the big league roster now for good this season. I'm going to give Carlson an opportunity here to get more everyday playing time to see if this hot streak is, just a streak, or if his baseline becomes closer to last season's play. Wow, Daryl Marino hits 2 home runs in the very next game. We got to jump in. The first 2 homers of his career in the same game. And he is essentially our big trade deadline acquisition. Not an outside player, but a prospect who can make a difference. Wow, and on top of that, we're losing 8-4 here to a good Miami team. So, very strange. 103? I wasn't expecting that. And a walk for Marino is drawn. Oh, they don't let us watch? He must have been taken out of the game then. Throwback unis too. Good call there for the Marlins. I haven't seen those in a minute. So we've reached the trade deadline. I am content with what we've done. I know there's going to be many that want me to go, more all in with the move to get Nolan Jones. But I'm opting instead for more of the playing time to end up going to Daryl Marino to get his development started, basically. Donovan's a free agent next year. He's going to continue regressing. I'd like to bring him back, but he might end up becoming more of a utility player at some point. We're not there right now, but we could see Gorman make more of a second base return on a full-time basis. Marino, then, he gets a full-time role soon. And sky's the limit on this guy. Jordan Lawler was acquired by the Pirates. That's actually a pretty big move for them. But it doesn't seem anybody made like that splash here in the trade deadline period. LA and Philadelphia are the top competition. Here is the Dodgers lineup right now with Jordan Westburg at the top, Emmanuel Rivera. You got the big bats of Shohei and Mookie Betts. Freddie Freeman hits all the way down here now at an 80 overall. So there are some spots they could have looked to upgrade their lineup. And then we just saw Philadelphia, obviously, for a big chunk of today's episode. They, I think, have a bit more complete offense. And then you go to us, and I think the only spot you have to question is the outfield. And at the very least, we're sending out great defense in center regardless of who's out there. But I think that we have a little bit of flexibility here. You can go all in on the offense, and you can move Donovan into the outfield and put Marino in the game. That gives you the best bats 1 through 9. Or you can have the setup we have currently, which is kind of the defense-optimized version of things. Cardinals do get a win against Miami and move to 70-42. We are 9.5 up right now on the Brewers. And I think we have a chance finally to see some ratings. Wow, this class looks pretty good. Julian Welsh, 69 overall and 81 actual potential. Of course, you'd like more potential out of a first-round pick, but that's not a bad ceiling. It's comparable to what Martinez had with 84 potential, so his was a little bit higher. But what I like about Welsh is just stronger strengths, like fielding already being an 82, contact versus righty already a 65, vision, discipline, clutch. That looks like an everyday starting third baseman, but probably doesn't have like the 30 home run upside then. I mean, the power could develop still, and you don't know between 69 and 82 overall, or 81, what ratings are going to go up the most. I think Welsh is in a really good spot, but certainly not going to be playing third next year right away. Richard Leonard then, the reliever, 67 overall. I wanted to go and target a reliever in case somebody slipped, and he's somebody that could make his major league debut next season. We see that more in real life now with some of these pitchers. They don't have a long wait, especially if they're coming out of the bullpen. But I just don't know if he's going to be a top 7 or 8 guy to need that role quite yet. Matt Grieve. He was unranked, but very high on our board and does have a nice ceiling. 60 stamina, though. Low K per 9. I think that you have to not pay as much attention then to his actual potential because he's probably a better fit as a reliever. Philip Maeda, another reliever, has 79 potential, 62 overall. As we did bolster our bullpen depth in this draft. Really happy to get that accomplished. Making sure no one here is a two-way player. But I was just completely guessing here with this selection. A 4-year player to have 92 potential at 22 years old. Now, he's not close to his ceiling. First base, catcher, left, right field. Christopher Rodriguez is pretty intriguing. But we'll see if he ends up making an impact in this series given his starting point. Ricky Leslie at third base. Lower potential. Probably more of a career minor league player. And then Daniel Caruso, the final reliever we took, also has good enough potential to make a major league impact. Overall, pretty good class. There were some players, though, I was really interested in. Rodrigo Araujo was one of them. Blazing speed, good power. Needs a lot of development for his defense, but a very intriguing player, worthy of a first-round pick. Henry Cabrera was someone very high on our board as well. 83 potential outfielder. His calling card was really good starting defense, and that is pretty cool to see. With this skill set, I could see him being a major league player in his first couple of years. You don't have to develop the defense, but vision, discipline, clutch, that's in a pretty low spot. I forget exactly who I wanted. I think it was Visperis. 91 potential. Great draft here for Kansas City. 390 plus overall players. Visperis, only 60 stamina. That is pretty disappointing. That's not great. Here's who the Mets took, though. How about a player starting off as an 83 overall? This is one of the best players I've ever seen come out of these draft classes. 83 overall at 18 years old. He is ready for the big leagues yesterday. Like, this guy is already one of the Mets' best overall players without playing an inning of minor league baseball. He becomes tied for their second highest rated player in the entire organization and their highest rated outfielder easily. The Mets, by the way, are going to be playing Aurelvis Martinez as their everyday third baseman, and we happen to play them next. And we've got 2 months to go now until the postseason begins. We'll see how many more episodes this ends up being. I'm still trying to get reps in and get myself prepared for the postseason, and I enjoyed today's video a lot. We'll talk about players who are becoming free agents next episode a bit, and Brendan Donovan's one of those players that might give us a tough decision to make. He's looking for about $9 million a year right now when we know what direction his skill set's headed in. And his numbers are slipping a bit in today's episode. But we're going to end today's video right there. Cardinals 70-42. Now trying to put ourselves in the best position for postseason success. We, of course, would love that #1 seed. And right now, forget it, actually. The Dodgers are 10 games up. We're not closing that gap. Now, if we can at least be the 2 seed, though, we do avoid a wild card series. And we haven't been able to win a wild card, so that wouldn't be a bad idea. And right now, we're 3 games up on the Marlins, who would be the 3 seed. And this is the team we're taking the rest of the way. Really excited to see where this year goes for us. I think we have an awesome team that can still get stronger between now and the end of the year, with guys like Daryl Marino now ready to make an impact. He's already gone up to a 78 in today's episode. But that is going to do it for today, everybody. Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Please leave a like on the video. And the Cards franchise will be back again soon. See you next time.